What is going on, everybody? Back at it again here today with another episode of The Adventure, and today we're going to be taking a look at everything that I carry with me when I go bow hunting. First off, let's talk about the book bag that I have on. Whew. So the first nice thing about this book bag is the straps are very heavy duty. It also comes with a waist strap as well as a chest strap. I don't typically use the chest strap all that much, but if I'm going up a mountain, I will definitely be using that waist strap to help even out the weight across my back and my shoulders. Now, taking a look at this backpack, at first it may not seem like it's very big, but I can tell you that I can fit a lot of stuff in here. For starters, on this side, I normally fit a water bottle right in here, or 2 water bottles for that matter, and maybe a snack or 2. There's also this bottom compartment here that has a cooler area. Now, I don't typically use this area much because I'm not out on all-day hunts. If I were to be out on all-day hunts, I'd probably throw maybe 2 or 3 sandwiches in there, a bunch of snacks, a bunch of extra water, and maybe even some ice to cool down while I'm out. Next, we'll take a look at the side pocket here. The only thing that I tend to carry in here are my keys. It is a nice convenient pocket because the elastic up here kind of snaps and conforms right to the bag, so even if I do take a tumble or a fall or whatever it might be, I am pretty confident that these keys are not coming out of here. Next, let's dive on into what's in this top pouch here. So first, out of this pouch, we got a bunch of face masks. The reason I have so many of these is because typically when I'm out in the woods, I tend to sweat a lot, especially if it's humid, muggy, and things like that. So I don't want my scent to spread everywhere. So if one gets really sweaty, I will stick it in a plastic bag in this bag and then tie it shut so my scent doesn't spread everywhere. The next thing, we got gloves. Now, depending on the season, I will either wear these thin gloves or I'll be wearing a thicker glove, depending on the temperature, how cold it is in the morning, and things like that. So I always carry a pair of these gloves with me. Next thing I have in here is the Hawk extendable. Now, typically if I'm hunting out of a ladder stand or a climber or something of that nature where I'm up in a tree, I will use this. However, when I'm on the ground, I typically don't use this. I will typically set my bow on my lap across my legs or even up against a tree next to me. However, if there is a nice tree and I can get this in that tree fairly quickly, I will screw this end into the tree. I'll have these 2 hooks for whatever, maybe my hat, some glasses, whatever it might be, and then I'll have this arm right here to put my bow on. If it's a windy night and you have this end screwed into the tree and your bow keeps on maybe swaying back and forth, hitting the tree, then you have this little clip right here. You flick it up and it'll double in size. So that's always a nice little thing to have, whether you carry one of these or even just a little simple J hook like this that you maybe screw into the tree. Something like that is pretty convenient. The next thing in this big pouch is the current version of the Hunting and Trapping Digest. And it's always something just to keep the mind entertained for a little bit and read a little bit of information. And last but not least, we got the most essential item, the toilet paper. Now, I can't tell you how many occasions when I could have used toilet paper instead of using a leaf for my business. I highly recommend taking a roll of toilet paper with you, as funny as it sounds, or maybe a roll of paper towels, because you never know when you're gonna get stuck in a situation where toilet paper may come in handy. Now, moving down to this front pouch here, if you notice there's a little bit of webbing design on the outside here. If you want to put a carabiner with maybe a light or something like that on here, it works. I typically don't store anything in here, but it's always nice and convenient to have. So the first item we're going to be looking at is my Smith & Wesson M&P 40 shield. Now, the only reason that I carry this gun with me in the woods is for self-protection. I've never had to use this when I'm hunting. I always try to make the best and ethical shot that I possibly can. And so the only reason that I would ever need this gun is for my own self-protection if an animal would decide to charge me and I feel threatened for my life. Next, let's take a look at one of the calls that I have, the Flextone Bone Collector series. I actually got this from my brother-in-law Dan. He got a new call, so I didn't have one and he decided to give this one to me. This call has the ability to do a fawn, a doe, or a buck grunt. The next thing that I have in here, which I'm not going to spend too much time talking about, is my hunting license. I have it, I carry it whenever I go hunting. Simple as that. So the next thing that I have in here is a pair of Bushnell 10 by 25 binoculars, where they do come in handy if I want to see across the field or a little farther than my eye can see. The next thing I have in here is a headlamp. This is just one of many headlamps that I have. This light that I have now only has 2 modes, high and low. The next item that I have in here is my Nikon Aculon rangefinder. Typically, if you are archery hunting, rifle hunting, whatever it might be, especially though in archery, I'd highly recommend getting a rangefinder. It does come in handy, and typically I will carry this around my neck. That way, if there is something in front of me and I want to see how far away it is, I can simply grab it from my neck, put it up to my face, and we're good to go. The next item that I have in here is the Primos long can. Now, last year my brother-in-law had one of these when I was with him. He called in, I believe it was 3 or 4 different bucks with this can in about an hour or 2. So I was like, that would be really cool to have. And needless to say, for Christmas, this is one of the presents that he got me. So thank you, Dan, for getting this as a gift for me, and hopefully this year, this baby right here will hopefully call in a monster and I'll be able to have the opportunity to take it down. The next thing that I have in this pouch is an Ozark Trail flashlight. The one cool thing about this is it has a front light, and it also has a side light. And it also has a little magnetic piece here. I'm gonna use my gun in this case. Clips right on there. It will not fall off. So that's pretty cool to have as well. And last but not least, for what's in this bag are 2 knives. First, let's go over this one. This one I actually found in my father's shed, so I believe it was one of his old hunting knives, but blade's kind of dull, a little wear and tear. I believe it's from the Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania, but I figured I found it, I might as well throw it in my bag. That way, if I need another sharp knife, I can use this. And finally, this knife, the buck knife, it has a decently sharp blade on there. I'll have to probably sharpen up here before the season gets started. This knife right here is definitely my go-to hunting knife when it comes to field dressing animals, gutting a deer, anything of that nature. I use this first, and then I'll use my other knives as backup. I also carry a few more things with me. My EDC knife, the Smith & Wesson Border Guard. I also carry with me my Coast G20 flashlight. I made a video of this in the past. If you haven't seen it already, please click the card above. And last but not least, up here in my jacket pocket is typically where I keep my cell phone. It's very convenient to have this pocket right here at my chest. That way I can just slip my phone in there. And once it does go off, it's just a matter of unzipping this slowly, pulling it out, checking my text or whatever it might be, sliding it right back in this pocket, and zipping it back up. And last but not least, I'm going to be talking about my bow. I've had this bow for, I believe, 1.5 years now. It is a Bear Encounter. I currently have a draw length of 29 inches with a pull weight of about 60 pounds. Now, for starters on this bow, I have a True Fire release. I have this 3-pin Trophy Ridge sight with the leveling bubble. I'm also using this Trophy Ridge arrow rest. I can hold up to 4 arrows in here. I am currently using the Hunter 400 grain gold tip arrows. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys liked any of the products that you guys have seen here on the channel today, I will be leaving a link to all the items in the description down below. If you're watching this and you are a hunter, please slap like on it. I appreciate it very much. Comment any other gear that you maybe suggest to me, or maybe that you carry on a daily basis when you are out hunting, whether it's rifle hunting, archery hunting, or whatever it might be. And as always, please hit that subscribe button. And good luck to the rest of the hunters in Pennsylvania as well as across the United States. I hope everybody has a safe hunting trip. They make lasting memories, and hopefully you guys are all able to get the deer that you're after this year. Because hunting is all about having fun, making memories, and having a good time. We'll see you guys in the next video.